The neighbor's auntie. The day she crossed my world. Life in my quiet suburban neighborhood was always predictable: calm mornings, friendly nods, and the smell of fresh coffee drifting from open windows. I was content with my routine, never imagining that my peaceful world could be disrupted. It all began the day Mrs. Kapoor moved in next door. She was in her late 30s, elegant, and incredibly beautiful. Her curly hair framed a face that seemed painted with perfection, and her hazel eyes held both warmth and mischief. I first saw her struggling with a pile of moving boxes on a warm Saturday morning. "Need a hand?" I asked, trying not to let my nervousness show. "Oh. Would you?" "That would be wonderful," she replied, her voice soft yet teasing. There was something about the way she smiled that made my chest tighten. I helped her carry the boxes inside, our hands brushing occasionally. Each touch left a spark I couldn't ignore. She laughed at my small jokes, a melodic sound that seemed to echo in the quiet street. Something about her made time feel slower, as if the world outside had paused. Over the next few days, I found myself noticing her more and more. She tended her garden with care, watered her plants meticulously, and sometimes, I would catch her looking my way with a subtle smile. The tension between us was invisible to anyone else but electric to me. Life went on, but every morning now seemed brighter, just knowing she was there. She would wave as I took my morning jog, ask for small favors like borrowing sugar or lending a ladder, and every interaction left my heart racing. One evening, she was struggling with a ladder to fix a gutter. I approached casually. "Need help again?" I asked, trying to sound nonchalant. "Yes, please," she said, her cheeks slightly flushed. As we worked together, our hands brushed repeatedly. I could feel the warmth of her skin through the gloves. When I looked into her eyes, I caught a hint of something I couldn't define: desire, perhaps, or curiosity, or maybe both. "You're always so helpful," she said softly. "How did I get such a good neighbor?" I smiled, feeling a strange mix of pride and nervousness. Every word she spoke seemed designed to pull me closer. Weeks passed, and our friendship grew into something more. She would invite me in for coffee when it rained, and I found myself staying longer than necessary, enjoying the quiet intimacy we shared. One evening, as the rain poured outside, we sat on her sofa talking about our childhoods, dreams, and regrets. "You know," she said quietly, "it's nice to have someone you can trust. Someone who understands without asking too many questions." Her words hit me like a lightning strike. I wanted to tell her that I felt the same, but I held back, afraid of ruining the fragile tension that existed between us. The rain intensified, and I noticed her shivering slightly. Without thinking, I draped my jacket over her shoulders. Our hands touched again, lingering longer than necessary. She didn't pull away. I realized in that moment that what we had was moving beyond friendship. Something deeper, more complicated, and undeniably intimate. It happened on a Friday evening. I was helping her with groceries, and the tension between us was palpable. Her hand brushed mine repeatedly, and our glances held unspoken words. As we stepped inside, she turned to face me. I don't know if I should say this," she murmured, eyes darting away. "Say what?" I asked, my voice betraying my nervous excitement. Before she could respond, our lips met. Tentative at first, testing the boundaries, but soon it deepened into something more urgent, more consuming. I felt her hands on my chest, pulling me closer, while my arms encircled her waist. The room seemed to disappear around us, leaving only the heat of our connection. We broke apart for air, laughing nervously. "I shouldn't," she whispered, though her eyes betrayed the truth. "I don't want you to," I replied, pressing my forehead to hers. From that night on, our relationship changed forever. Simple touches became deliberate, glances turned into secret smiles, and every interaction held an electric charge that neither of us could ignore. Life went on, but the desire between us was impossible to ignore. Every time we met, every accidental touch or brush of hands, left both of us craving more. I caught her watching me from her balcony sometimes, her gaze lingering a second too long. One evening, she invited me over to watch a movie. It started innocently, but as the night progressed, our knees touched, then our hands. The air was thick with anticipation. "I can't stop thinking about you," she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "Neither can I confessed. Slowly, we leaned into each other, sharing kisses that were soft but insistent. The tension built with every passing second. She rested her head on my shoulder, and I held her close, feeling her heartbeat against mine. It was a quiet Sunday morning when everything changed. I went over to help her with some home repairs, and as we worked together, our closeness became undeniable. A playful touch on her arm led to a lingering embrace, and soon, we were holding each other like nothing else existed. "I shouldn't," she whispered, but her voice lacked conviction. "You don't have to," I murmured, kissing her neck softly. That day, we crossed a line neither of us could take back. The intimacy between us grew bolder, but it wasn't just physical. We shared stories, secrets, fears, and dreams. Every touch, every kiss, every glance deepened our connection. Over the next few weeks, we grew inseparable. Simple routines, coffee together in the morning, lunch in the backyard, evening walks, became moments of pure intimacy. We laughed, teased, and sometimes argued, but every argument ended with a kiss that said more than words ever could. She confided in me about her past, about failed relationships and loneliness, and I shared my fears and dreams as well. We became each other's confidants, lovers, and secret joys. Part 8, The Confession. One evening, as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink, we sat on her balcony. She rested her head on my shoulder, and I felt the warmth of her hand in mine. "I've never felt this way before," she said softly. "With anyone." "Me neither," I replied. "You've changed my life, completely." Her eyes glistened, and she smiled. "Then let's promise, no matter what, we won't let this fade." "I promise," I said, holding her tighter. Part 9, The Happy Ending. From that day on, we embraced our love fully. Neighbors noticed our closeness but never suspected the depth of our bond. We shared stolen kisses over fences, secret touches when the street was empty, and late-night conversations under the stars. Mrs. Kapoor, my neighbor, my secret desire, had crossed into my world, and I knew I would never let her go. Our love was bold, passionate, and alive. Life was no longer predictable, it was thrilling, beautiful, and ours.